Hello and welcome to today's demonstration of Office 365 for Education. In today's brief demo, we'll be going through the core components of Office 365, including Exchange Online, Link Online, SharePoint Online, and the Office web apps. And before we start going through the core demo, I'd just like to take a brief moment to show you how our services work across multiple browsers and, in fact, multiple platforms and mobile devices. As you can see on the screen, currently we're in Google Chrome, and we're on the home screen on this particular tab, the inbox on this tab, and the SharePoint demo site here on the third. If I quickly flip over to Firefox, again the same experience, same layout, and same features and functionality from the home page, the inbox, and of course SharePoint. Naturally, it also works in Internet Explorer as well. So regardless of how your students, teachers, and staff would like to access the service, they'll have a fantastic experience across any browser. So as you can see here, we are currently in the home page for Office 365. And you can see that this user has access to all the components of Office 365, including Exchange, Link, and SharePoint. And if I, as an IT manager, chose to only give a subset of these services to this particular user, you would see only those services listed here. Now we're going to be wearing multiple hats in this particular demo. The first hat that we'll wear is the administrator hat, and we'll go through the administrator council real quick, and then we'll flip over to what a student and teacher would see. So one of the great things that Office 365 brings to the table is really some really great improvements based on feedback from our predecessor services such as Live at EDU and VPOS. And some of these feedback mechanisms help to shape the look and the feel of these services. For instance, up to 20% of our service phone calls were for things such as resetting user passwords. And this is probably not the best use of time for you as an IT manager, and certainly not the best use of time to be waiting on the phone trying to simply reset a user's password. And so taking this into account and applying it to the user experience for Office 365, we've been able to basically bubble up a lot of the most frequently accessed tasks, and you can see those throughout the service experience. As you can see right here, the first thing that you see is resetting user passwords. The second most common task you might be faced with as an IT manager, especially in the academic space, is adding new users. You get new users in every term, at the end of the term, and absolutely for the autumn time frame. So new users can be added in a variety of ways, including a CSV file or individually. We'll just quickly show you what it looks like to add an individual user here. As you can see, I can just simply add in the user's details. We'll go ahead and put in Bill Gates. We'll give him his very own Office 365 account. And you can give Bill his own email alias. We'll go ahead and do Bill G. And you'll see here that there's actually an option to select multiple domains. Here in this example, we have 4 domains, but as an institution, you can really choose how many domains you'd like to support. And this could be particularly useful if you're a large institution and you'd like to separate individual colleges or individual departments. You can have the geography department here and the English department here and the science department here. Or maybe you're a large institution that has multiple sites. So perhaps you have a London campus, and then you have maybe a campus in Scotland and maybe one in China. So we'll go ahead and give them this domain and click Next. And then here's a nice option for the IT administrator to assign a user role. And so, like I said, up to 20% of our service call volume came from simply resetting user passwords. So I can make Bill a password administrator, or I could grant him all the benefits of an administrator and make him a global administrator. You can also select the user's location. And this is particularly important because it assigns the user to the correct data center to ensure they have the best user experience and the lowest latency. But it also customizes the user's experience as it relates to language, etc., so that the user has a dashboard and a user experience that's local to them. So we know that Bill is in the US, so we'll provision him here. Finally, here's where you can pick and mix the licenses that you like to assign the particular user. The default here is the suite, which includes all these services, but if I wanted to give Bill only a copy of Office, maybe the web apps and SharePoint, I can absolutely do that. For this particular example, we'll go ahead and cancel out of it, but it will bring me to the same dashboard as you would if I hit Create. This dashboard is a really nice example of how you can manage not just individual users, but also resources. As you can see here, we have a few classrooms that we're managing. There's a bus, a football pitch. As you flip on to the next page, there's even some video equipment and some video lecture rooms, which is a really, really nice feature as it relates to how we manage multiple resources across an entire institution. And this is really helpful if you are checking out equipment, if you'd like to see the availability of a particular room or a particular resource. So again, it's very handy and to use this user panel to administer all of your particular users, whether they be people or resources. Another thing that we learned quite a bit from our previous engagements with BPOS and Live at EDU is around services health and services availability. And again, it's probably not the best use of your time as an administrator to have to wait on the phone with support to understand if the services are down for one reason or another or being upgraded. It could be a problem with your internet service provider. You could be someone could have dug up the internet connection going into your building. You simply don't know. In the old version of services. Now we have taken a huge step forward in making the services much more transparent by delivering the Services Health Dashboard. As you can see here, you have a real-time indication on the Services Health, and it's for a 7-day period. As we can see here, we've got a good Services Health across much of the services, but there's obviously some indicator demonstrating that there was perhaps something going on today in the administration portal. So by clicking on the icon, you can see a step-by-step report of exactly what happened and exactly when it happened, and the service status and when it was restored. So again, with one simple click, you can see the services health for the entire suite of services, so you don't have to guess whether or not it's your connection or whether it's the services themselves. Similarly, we do publish our planned maintenance schedule. And one of the nice things about consuming an online service is that you're always on the latest and greatest platform. And Microsoft is on a 6-week release cycle, which means that every 6 weeks the services get incrementally better. And as you can see, there is some maintenance coming up over the next few days. And you can also see what's happened in the past. And again, this is taking a big step forward in the transparency of our services delivery and making sure that the IT managers feel really great about the services and they have the most information to act on it when they need to. Go back to the administration overview and just show one of the services sort of deep dives here. As you can see, these are all the online services that I am signed up for right now. And you can easily manage these individual services simply by clicking on the link. So by clicking on this link, I'm brought into the Link Online Control panel. You can see here that I have a lot of different options as to how I'd like to modify and manage my users and my communications. One of the great things that that you can do here as an IT manager, especially with education students, is you can manage the amount of interaction these students have. And so, for instance, if I were to click on a user, I have a lot of different options as to what I'd like to allow the student to utilize and what I can take away. So as you can see, if I want to make sure the students aren't unintentionally sending some malicious files, you can disable the transfer of files through instant messaging. If, for some students, let's say the younger ones, I want to disable audio and video calls, I can do that. But for older ones, maybe I want to enable it. There's a lot of really great flexibility that's provided here. This is just one example of how you can modify an individual service. Now, if we go back to our home page, we'll use this home page as really a great platform to sort of bounce around the services. You'll see that I have this really handy navigation at the top, which follows me throughout my Office 365 experience. And from here, we can go into the Outlook experience. So here we are in Outlook. Outlook is built on Exchange 2010 server, and there's some really fantastic features and functionality that are awarded to users through Exchange Online. If you've ever used Exchange or Outlook at home, you'll see that the online layout is very, very similar. You have the reading or the preview pane here on the right. You have the messages pane here in the middle, and then of course your folder structure here on the left. And as part of Exchange Online, users get 25 gigabytes of storage for each user in each inbox. And 25 gigabytes should be more than enough to get your students through their academic experiences. But as you can imagine, you can acquire quite a bit of mail when you have a 25 gig inbox. And Exchange Online allows you to manage that email very effectively and very efficiently. In the middle here, you can assign categories to any of your mail. So as you can see here, I can tag mail as being an English class or history class or personal or sports. These are all completely customizable categories. Alternatively, I can also set reminders and tasks for either today, tomorrow, or a custom date. And these tasks show up in the task list down here on the bottom left. And searching is becoming more and more of an important and powerful feature for managing an inbox. As you can see here, I can search by keywords. I can search my results in the message or the subject, but I can also search for these categories that I just applied. So as you can see here, maybe I only want to search for things that are tagged as history. I can, with one quick click, do that and see that all these history tags are what come up. But perhaps I don't want to manually have to weed through all my mail. Perhaps I'd like to set some rules and manage it very automatically. I can do so through the options. So by going to the options tab, you can see I have a lot of different nice flexible things I can do here. One of them is selecting a theme, so each student can have a different themed inbox if they so choose. Perhaps the green theme isn't particular to my liking. I can do something maybe a little bit more fun, such as the Super Sparkle Happy theme, which I seem to like. So let's go ahead and view some other options, and so we can manage our inbox very effectively. So here we are in the options part of the inbox, and as I mentioned, organizing email is going to be becoming more and more important. One of the great features of Exchange Online is the ability to search and create groups. And as a student, I come into my institution and I want to get involved with things that are important to me, and I'd like to be communicated to about things that are very relevant to my classwork, to my homework, and to my peers. And coming into my school, I can easily search for things that are interesting to me. So perhaps I really enjoy chess, and so I can do a quick search for chess here. As you can see, 2 clubs have been created for chess. There's the Chess Club, which I suppose is the over-encompassing distribution list, and there's Chess for Beginners. But perhaps I'm a more advanced player, and I'd like to create my own chess group just for advanced players. So I don't see that there's one that is existing here, so I'd like to create my own. So that's easily done with just a couple clicks. I can put Chess for Advanced and give it an alias, so CFA, Chess for Advanced Players, and maybe a brief description for advanced players only. And I had some really nice options as to how I manage the group. Perhaps I have another peer, another student that can help me manage it, or maybe a mentor or another teacher who'd like to help manage the group, and so I can add them here as well as I can add in members that I know who would be interested in advanced chess, so I can add them here, or I can really tweak and really go through at a very granular level who's able to join the group. Obviously, I don't want folks who are not advanced, so I can make it so that it's owner approval only as to how students can sign up for this particular group. So with one quick click, I was able to basically create a brand new group, and this can be done either from a student perspective or an administrative perspective, or of course an IT perspective. We all know that students and teachers alike come into the institution oftentimes with their own personal email accounts. As a student, perhaps I'd like to connect some of my personal accounts to my Exchange inbox, just so I have a nice, clean, and consistent experience across all of my accounts. Again, this is easily done with 1 or 2 clicks through this Connected Accounts option here. As you can see, I have a Gmail account and a Hotmail account already connected. To do this, I simply click New and enter in my credentials here. Because I've already done that, I can show you how easy it is to organize these connected accounts, just so it's not cluttering up my inbox. So if I go to Organize Email, I can easily set up inbox rules. So from here in the Organize Email tab, I can set an inbox rule to handle any incoming mail that I have that might be best handled in an orderly fashion. So for instance, I signed up for the Chess Club alias, and perhaps it's a very active distribution group, and I get a lot of mail that's cluttering my inbox. Well, to filter that mail is very easy. It can be done in just a couple quick clicks. You simply click New, and you want to have any mail that's been sent to the Chess Club. Click OK. And then you want to put all the Chess Club email into a special Chess Club folder. So you move the message to Chess Club folder here, click OK, and there we are. With just a couple clicks, any email that's sent to the Chess Club will be moved to the Chess Club folder. Now if I go back to the mail inbox, you can see that here are my linked accounts here, my Gmail account here with all of its subfolders that go along with it, and my Hotmail account here with all its subfolders that go along with that. So I have all my academic mail coming into my inbox here, Gmail is coming in here, and Hotmail is coming in over here in a separate folder, which is very convenient. Now to send an email from either my Gmail account, my university account, or my Hotmail account, I simply need to select from this drop-down list which account I'd like to send it from. There's no need to sign in and sign out multiple times or to bounce around your inboxes. There's no need to memorize multiple passwords because it's all linked very conveniently into Exchange Online. Now that's the email experience. I'd like to spend a little bit of time looking at the calendaring experience. As you can see here, the calendar is laid out in a very colorful and very nice fashion. I've chosen to color code my classes just so at one quick glance I can see exactly where I need to be and when. And you can also view your calendar, you can also view other people's calendars and share your own calendar. To share a calendar, you simply need to click Share, and you can either publish it to the web or publish it to a particular person or group of people. And people can also share their calendars with you. As you can see, Richard, my colleague here, has decided to share his calendar with me. And Richard has also taken the approach to share a little bit more information. So you have the power of choice to share as much or as little information as you like, all the way from just simply the free busy, all the way to the location and the title of your meeting. For this example, Richard has chosen to mark all of his appointments that fall within normal business hours. You can see about 8 to 5 here as pretty open, so I can see exactly where he's going to be and when. But anything outside of business hours, they appear as private. So Richard is able to control the amount of information he shares with me as an individual. Now I can see here that perhaps I want to work on a project with Richard, and I want to create a quick appointment with Rich. So with one quick glance, I can see that I'm busy during these hours, and perhaps tomorrow between 11 and 12:30 it might not be convenient for Richard, but we have this nice block of time here between 2 and 3 that would work. So to create an appointment, it's really simple. You simply double-click the space that you'd like to create it in, and you start adding attendees, equipment, and resources. I'll go ahead and add Richard here. And as I add Richard, as you can see, his calendar is populated here, and Outlook does a really nice job of suggesting appointment times that work well for both of us. As you can see, between 2 and 3, both of us are free, and I can add some additional resources like a room. So for this particular example, we'll do a video project together, so I'll go ahead and book the video suite. We'll do that here, and the video suite's free, busy. Information also comes up, and this is dynamically updated. If I go back to the scheduling assistant, I'll go ahead and add some resources such as a video projector and the video suite. You can see as I add these resources, I get some nice little helpful mail tips at the top. These are all completely customizable by the administrator. As you can see, for the video projector, it's asking me to return all the cables and return them after borrowing the projector. And similarly for the video suite, it's asking me to ensure I have AV support booked if I need it. Very convenient, very helpful. This doesn't have to be just for resources. You can make a mail tip for anyone listed in the global address list. I can mark this as schoolwork, so it shows up as a category within my calendar, and I can also mark the priority as being very high. Let's say let's work on our video project, and there we are. Quickly send it away to Richard. Let's see, it pops up here on my screen. And in just a moment, it'll pop up on Richard's as tentative. Now, as soon as Richard accepts the appointment, it'll show up as accepted here. So that was really quickly what the inbox experience looks like. Now let's bounce over to the team site, which is, of course, SharePoint Online. Now, here's an example of SharePoint Online. And here you can see that this has been very lightly customized, just with a new graphic and a calendar web part in the middle. And creating and modifying SharePoint sites is very, very easy. With one quick click, you can create a brand new site from this drop-down menu here. As you can see, the featured templates are the first ones to come up. So you can quickly flip through these featured templates and find the website that you'd like to use. So this is where you can have nice sites installed, such as a homework site or a class site or a team site. As you can see, many of them come with a nice layout, or come with a stock graphic, which of course you can replace, and some nice stock web parts. So again, with one quick click, you can have a really, really nice SharePoint site to start off with. We can show you some example SharePoint sites we've already created. Let's see, here is one that might not be core to academic, but it's also pretty nice to demonstrate how SharePoint can be really flexible. So here we have a nice football site. We have a lot of different web components here. As you can see, there's an Excel web access component, which is where you have some data that's linked out to an Excel spreadsheet, which is the leaderboard. You have a really nice calendar where you can see upcoming matches, some nice announcements at the top. So again, very simple, lightly customized web page, but it shows you how flexible the sites can be. Here on the environmental sciences page is an example of a more academically focused SharePoint site. Again, this one is for environmental science. We have this nice calendar part here, some upcoming assignments on the right, and some announcements at the top. As we flip through the different pages here on the left, as you can see that there's some nice lecture notes and resources. And but what I'm really interested in is my assignments and what I need to get done here. So for assignments, as you can see, there's a few handouts already loaded up. You can tell what they are by the icon on the left. One of the nice things about the Office web apps is the richness of the fidelity of the document. And as you can see here, I have this nice Word document that's been uploaded with some really fancy art. There's a graph embedded. There's a watermark in the back. There's headers and there's footers, and all very complex editing, which is rendered flawlessly in the Word web app. As you can see at the bottom, Word is not being run on the desktop. It's all being rendered through the website. Similarly, I can go in and do a CO2 readings assignment here. And again, the web apps have a lot of really great features. So with one quick click, I can enter the web app here, and I can work on these assignments along with my my classmates. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there are two people editing this workbook simultaneously. And as you enter in numbers, you'll see that the conditional formatting begins to change. So you can see the spark lines changing, the conditional formatting changing, all in real time based on the information that's being put in. You can see these spark lines and the conditional formatting are all jumping in real time because this is all being edited in real time through the browser. Again, Excel is not running on the desktop. It's all being done through the browser, which is pretty great. Now there is one more site that I wanted to demonstrate before we move on, and that is really how great the customization and the configuration of these sites can be. So if I click on this link here, it'll bring me to a nice SharePoint site that's been customized by one of our partners. As you can see here, that there's some really nice animation happening here on the right-hand side. There's a really fantastic wrapper that's been put around the site. And again, it doesn't really look or feel quite like a standard out-of-the-box SharePoint site that you just saw. So again, SharePoint gives you the opportunity to get up and running extremely quickly, and with some nice stock templates that'll help students and teachers get involved right out of the box. But it doesn't necessarily replace the fantastic work that our partners do and savvy IT departments can do with the services. Now the last part of the demo that I wanted to run through is Link. And Link is a fantastic instant messaging, presence, and communication tool which is included in Office 365. Here we'll just spend a brief moment looking over the Link client, which I see here on the desktop. You see that there's a picture of me here at the top and a picture of all my colleagues down the length of the client. Now you can organize your contacts by groups. As you can see, I have UK Cloud Services Group, which is a distribution list that I belong to. All my colleagues that work on cloud services here in education, as well as all my colleagues from other parts of the team and other parts of the company. So that's really handy. As I flip through the headers here at the top, these tabs, you can see that I can get some additional information. You see that by status, I can see that which of my colleagues are away and which are currently online or unavailable. And you can see a nice org chart display of friends and family, work groups, colleagues, etc. Now moving on from contacts, I can also view activity feeds. So much like a social update engine, I can see where what my colleagues are up to. I can also see any missed calls or IMs or conversations here that have happened in the past. So all very convenient. I can easily set my status here to available, to busy, or to do not disturb. Conveniently, that can also be done from the inbox experience. It's all connected through this presence icon throughout the entire Office 365 experience. Well, as you can see here, that my presence is also indicated on my colleagues' icons here. So if I wanted to connect with someone who's available, so for instance my colleague Anthony here I know is available, I can simply hover over his icon and see a little bit more about how to communicate with them. So as you can see, I can send an email and start with an instant message. I can call him from Link, or I could do other things like schedule a meeting or share my desktop, etc. Now Link is highly integrated into the other elements of the service. As you can see, it's pulling some nice information from Exchange, so it knows that Anthony's in the GMT time zone and that it's a little bit late in the afternoon, so he's outside of working hours. Similarly, his status icon will also demonstrate his availability in things like SharePoint. So let's say I want to work on Anthony with a project and I want to simply start with an instant message. So with one quick click, I can say hi to Anthony and start an instant messaging dialog here. And if I wanted to communicate with Anthony with a little bit more than just text, I can, with one quick click, call Anthony. I can also start a video conference with Anthony as well. If I wanted to pull in another colleague, for this example, maybe James, although he's away, I can simply drag and drop James into the conversation here. Additionally, I can do entire groups by just clicking and dragging and dropping in a whole group to the conversation. So it's just Anthony and I right now, and perhaps Anthony is actually working remotely, and perhaps the student that I'm collaborating with from another location, say China. Well, it's really easy to communicate with Anthony using something called Conversation Translator. So with Conversation Translator, it'll dynamically translate incoming and outgoing conversations to a variety of different languages. You simply have to select your language, so all incoming messages will be translated into English, and the outgoing translation. So, like I said, perhaps Anthony is working and living in China currently. So I don't have a Chinese keyboard, and I certainly don't know how to speak Chinese. But again, with one quick click, I can communicate with my colleague. So if I type hello, see that down here in the corner, it has translated the Chinese in real time. And if Anthony responds in Chinese, it'll also translate it that way. This is really cool, and I can translate that in real time. And as you see, the outgoing messages are all being done in Chinese, which is really great. No need to learn that second language, and certainly no need to buy a special keyboard for it. There's some other neat things you can do, such as sharing a whiteboard. Whiteboard is a fantastic collaboration tool which can support a wide variety of different inputs. It can support text, as you can see here. You can do some nice free-form drawing. You can even do some nice stamps, so you can put some X's or some check marks in here, and it's very collaborative. If I were to simply hover over any of the marks made on the whiteboard, you can see exactly who created it and who modified it. So if there's anything inappropriate being put on the board, you can see exactly who's responsible for it. You can also control the whiteboard, simply by locking the whiteboard down to organizers, presenters, or individuals, or everyone. So it's very, very easy to control the whiteboard if you want to use it as a mechanism to have other people collaborating, or simply just using it to communicate out. You can also do things like share PowerPoint presentations and work on those together. So by sharing a PowerPoint presentation, it brings up the full fidelity presentation in the way it's meant to be seen. You have really rich transitions. You can see that the animations are very nice, and that it's really rich in how it's being displayed. As a presenter, I have some additional ways of how I'd like to see it. So I have my slide view here, so I can jump back and forth within the presentation as I see fit. I also have my notes view at the bottom, so there's no need for me to print out notes and keep them on the side. I can simply look at my notes right here in the middle of the screen. Additionally, I can share things like a poll, which can be really fun for large classes. So I can say, where should our next field trip be? I can put in some nice choices, such as London, Reading, Edinburgh, Glasgow, maybe Manchester, and click OK. And it'll upload the poll for everyone to participate. And as you can see, let's say I want to select London, and you have some really, really nice, rich animations here as people respond to the different polls. And these polls can be hidden from the attendees, the results can, I mean. You can also record the results. You can publish the results after the polls are taken. So again, a really nice sort of fun feature here. And finally, you can share other content such as your desktop. So if I wanted to share my entire desktop, I can give that option to my colleagues. So right now, Anthony is seeing my entire desktop. In fact, I can even give Anthony control of my desktop if I was having some sort of problem. Let's say I didn't know how to sync my inbox properly. I can give control to Anthony, who is a presenter, and Anthony can act sort of as the IT help desk to sort of take over my desktop and in real time solve any issues I have. So that concludes the link portion of the demo. And I just wanted to finish on just a brief recap of what we covered today. As you saw, we started on the home page, and we talked a bit about each of the services, and sort of this as being the start-off point. We took a peek at the admin center and some of the nice functionality and features that the admin has to add new users and manage those users. We walked through the inbox and the layout of the inbox, as well as the calendar and sharing and viewing other people's calendars. And finally, we went to the SharePoint sites and showed you what a very basic out-of-the-box SharePoint site looks like, and also what a little bit more customized SharePoint site looks like as well. I hope you enjoyed today's demo. You can learn a lot more by going to Microsoft.com/Office365, and I strongly encourage you to download Office 365 for Education today. Thanks very much.